following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin' Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
And welcome into Talkin' Cowboys. Rob Phillips, Brian Broaddus, Mickey Spagnola. Happy Monday to everybody out there. A couple more practices, a couple more open practices here at the Star in Frisco, and that's a wrap for training camp 2019. Cowboys fresh off a 34-0 preseason victory. Is that for the Governor's Cup? Does that count?
Break up the Cowboys.
Yeah, over the Houston Texans.
Do we get the Governor's Cup on this one? I didn't see an after-game ceremony or anything like that.
I don't think that qualifies, but it was a heck of a performance by your Cowboys. I believe it was the first home preseason shutout since 1977.
You looked it up?
Nick Eatman had that stat.
His first shutout since 2012, if I'm not right.
Pure
Oakland?
shutout.
Oakland?
Yeah, that sounds right. Sure.
Oakland? Okay.
You know what happened in 77, man?
Yeah.
Thing went all the way.
Super Bowl.
Could be an omen, Mick. Or not. Let's not read too much into it, but we'll spend some time over the next hour kind of looking into that game. Who stood out, who separated themselves, who might have made the team based off of that performance.
Yeah.
We'll also take your questions off of Periscope and potentially some phone calls as well. So,
Caden got that number ready?
I don't know. He ignored me when I asked if we were taking calls today.
I think you did that on purpose.
I think he did.
We might not be taking. Go ahead and give your cell phone number out there, Robert, and just kind of give everybody an opportunity to give us a call.
Sure, anytime. No, you go first.
Yeah. Rob's phone number is no. Who'd you like in this game the other night?
Pretty much everybody on defense.
Defense playing pretty well, guys. That first defense playing pretty well, Mickey?
Pretty well. And it doesn't matter who you're playing against because they did what you should do, even if they got their slappies out there.
Sure.
That's an interesting word.
He's not wrong.
Get out there and do what you got to do. And when you can create that many turnovers and that much pressure on an opposing quarterback, you're doing something right. I thought that was awfully impressive from a team as a whole. You know, you can look at and say, okay, Taco did this, Taco did that, Kerry Hyder did this or that. But as a whole, I thought they played together. The backside, the pressure, the blitzes, takeaways, you couldn't beat it. I mean, it was just a total performance. And as the head coach said, we're not even close.
Yeah, I think to me, this is the second week in a row where your 2s and 3s were clearly better than someone else's 2s and 3s.
Which hasn't happened
not
very much
often.
Recently,
yeah,
right?
not very often. And, those were 2 playoff teams. The Rams and then also the Texans. So the fact that you kind of took it, your backups took it to them. And I was focusing on, this secondary continues to impress me. It doesn't matter who they throw out there. Whether Woozier, Brown, Lewis, whoever they throw out there, Alumba. I mean, these guys, the Wilson, these guys have gone out there and made some plays. They've done a really nice job of going in. Mickey's right about how they've attacked people.
Yeah.
And, the front has done it. The front 7 has done a really nice job. Those young kids. And I was talking to Rod Marinelli before the game, and I was asking him about lining these guys up, and are they still, have you got an idea who you're going to keep and all that? He goes, no, Brian, I'd tell you. I'd tell you if I knew. And he goes, but I just want to see, I got 2 more games. And he goes, and a lot of these guys are going to get snaps. And I even asked him about Taco. And he honestly said, he says, Taco is improving. And this is for the game. He says, Taco's improving. He says, but I want to see Taco be tougher. I want to see more toughness from him. He goes, I've told him this. I go, I want more toughness from you. And, I felt like, though, if you want to take something away from what Taco happened in the game, he got hurt and came back and tried to play in the game. Old Taco would have not done that. Old Taco would have gone over there and sat next to Britt Brown and Jim Maurer and figured out a way not to play the rest of that football game. But he came back in. Is it still enough? We'll see. I think some people have their opinion about what Taco is, but I know for a fact that there has been some improvement there. The coaches are noticing, though. Is it enough? We'll see here in about 5 or 6 days.
Heck of a performance by him, and he's gotten a ton of reps in these first 3 preseason games. He needs it. Yeah, he did, and he's got a lot more competition. You know, it's funny because we were talking about George Selvey last week and how there was a point in time when Rod Marinelli was running this defense where they were signing guys off the couch to come in here and just and start in the middle of the season. And I think they've reached a point now where we're talking about 12, 13 guys that are like, wow, all these guys have at least enough talent to make an NFL roster.
Yeah, their pro department and college department is humming right now because they're doing a good job. And again, that talks about continuity, and I'll give Jason Garrett credit. I think Jason Garrett's one of the best evaluating coaches that I've seen. I mean, I was with Parcells and guys like that. But as far as evaluating talent and know what they need, I think he does a really good job with that evaluation side of it. He knows what kind of players, but it's continuity. You got continuity with the scheme. You got continuity with the coaching staff. You've got continuity that kind of helps you be able to build the team the right way. And you got a head coach that understands personnel. And I don't give him nearly enough credit for his personnel hat that he wears because this roster is clearly better with some of his influence here.
Well, it's better because, they took Bill Jones's headset away.
Oh, no. Bill Jones is here.
Kate and Bill Jones is here.
Hi,
we need that headset back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can listen to us for now.
I can hear you.
He could hear us.
Sans headset.
Yeah,
Sorry, I had to take a
absolutely.
phone call. That's one of those phone calls that you got to take, or else you're playing phone tag the rest of the afternoon.
Well, good.
I hear ya.
Glad you could make it.
It's funny. I'm listening. We're just talking about Taco and stuff, and I just looked down at the Periscope, and people are saying Taco got coverage sacks. They don't want to give a guy credit for. His first sack was total effort.
Sure.
He beat 2 guys to get to the to get the sack. So people he even said it. We played the clip during the broadcast. You either have people he's got people either going to be with him or people that are going to be against him. So no. I just it's unfortunate a guy can have a good 2 or 3 plays in a game, but we say, no, it was coverage sack. He's not that good of a player. He can't do that.
We've watched him now for a month, just about.
He's gotten better. You can say he's gotten better.
And day after day, the effort has been there to Brian's point. He's been productive in practice. This has just been a carryover to that. Now, Mick, do you have any kind of update on what it was an ankle, right?
Didn't. It was an ankle or a knee. So when I walked him towards the training room, he said, I'm going to get it checked out. And I said, ankle or knee? He goes, yeah. He goes, I don't know if I'm supposed to say. And I said, so you're going to throw the hockey term at me, lower body injury? And
right.
He goes, yeah, that's what it is, the lower body injury.
He took a big shot on that knee.
Hey, look, he didn't get coverage sacks before.
Right. That's
okay.
Yeah.
He didn't get any. So, he's making steps in the right direction, and you've got to remember that if they get rid of him, either cut him or trade him, he's going to count $3.5 million in dead money against the cap immediately. Yeah. Immediately. So be careful how you're cutting your team already.
I don't know if people are saying they're going to do that. I think he made some comments after the first preseason game they were kind of cryptic. It was like
they were very cryptic.
It was like, I'm trying to dominate out on the field, but I talk to my agent all the time, and we kind of know the situation.
Sure.
And it was kind of like, okay, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
And I'm sure he knows. Look, he's looking at this depth chart. He knows it's the most competition he's faced since he's been here, and the most depth they've had. But based on the performance they had the other night, I think he's in position to make this team.
Yeah.
But a lot of people look at it that he's also in a position where he raised his trade stock.
Yeah. But
when you look at those numbers, but yeah, you're right.
When you're trying to sign a bunch of guys and you need all the cap space you need to do it, right. You better be careful just throwing away cap money. I don't care about Jerry's money, but cap money is important.
I asked Mickey, and it's the ankle on Taco. So ankle is what they're working on.
All right, along those lines, at the defensive end position, Tyrone Crawford. Right, he's came off PUP, And so he's ready to go. He's a team captain type on this team. But when you look at the salary cap situation, he would count $4 million or so at dead money, but it's $6 million that they would save basically. That's his salary.
His base salary for this year.
Yeah.
See, Taco's is guaranteed.
Right.
That's why his is
that's
more.
Later draft.
Crawford's isn't guaranteed.
First round pick.
He's got 2 years left on his deal, and But anyway,
I don't know. I don't know how you cut Crawford.
I don't either.
I wasn't trying to attack you, Bill.
Right.
I understand what you were trying to maybe if you're talking about moving money or giving money or saving money.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that they've got this situation in a good spot with these defensive linemen, and if it means Crawford's your starter, okay, you got Quinn out for a couple of weeks because of the suspension. I have no problem throwing Dorrance Armstrong in a game right now. Mm-hmm. I really don't. If you say he could play as a rotational rusher, no, yeah. If Crawford starts and I have to play somebody at right end, I'll play Lawrence at right. Armstrong at right end.
Or Kerry Hyder.
But you might need him at left end because the first game you're not going to send DeMarcus Lawrence out there and play 65 snaps.
No, I'm just saying though, if people are talking about getting rid, again, Bill, I'm not talking.
Right.
I'm just saying if you're one of these folks that's thinking let's move on from Crawford, I understand if you want to do this in the spring. Next, if you want to have that discussion, great. But right now, he's one of my better. I understand why I never thought he wasn't going to start. Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, "Oh, Robert Quinn." They traded for Robert Quinn, in my opinion, because they had not signed Lawrence yet. That's why I felt like they were going to protect themselves. But I never thought Quinn was going to be the starter at right end. I never thought that.
He's the pass rusher over there.
Yes. And then you kick Crawford inside to let him play with Collins. Yeah.
And now you got Kerry Hyder who can also go inside and rush.
Sure. Yep. So. Absolutely. Yeah.
And Tristan Hills starting to take some steps forward. He may have put the menu down in the dining car now.
Rod Marinelli said something about him last week. He noticed something different in his pad level, his technique in the second half of the Rams game.
Right.
And he carried it over to practice. So Hill.
Yeah.
And that's part of a rookie evaluation. Can he get that technique down to where he can finish plays and get up the field?
He's getting a lot of reps.
He just needs a little confidence, and I think this game did him wonders, making that play early against the Texans. I think it was their first line.
How many? Although their first line is a lot like a second line.
Yes, I know.
That is a problem, boy. On talking Texans, let's talk about that offensive line a lot,
especially at left tackle. They signed Matt Khalil, and he hadn't been out there yet, and he didn't play last year due to a knee injury. And all right, so how many defensive linemen are you keeping?
Usually about 10.
I'm going to keep 10.
Yeah.
I counted up the obvious ones, and I got 9.
Not counting Robert Quinn because he'll be on reserve for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So you want to run down those obvious ones?
I will. I'll start from the top in alphabetical. No, I guess it's not alphabetical.
Go starters.
It's number order. How's that? Number order. Hyder, Tristan Hill, DeMarcus Lawrence, Armstrong, Christian Covington, Malik Collins, Taco, Crawford, and Woods.
All right, so was there a Joe Jackson in there?
He was my question mark.
And Jelks.
And I think he's practice squad.
Okay.
So how many did you get? Was that 10?
That was 9.
He got 9.
Yeah.
So 10 with Joe Jackson?
It would be 10 with Joe Jackson.
And you got Quinn on 2-game suspension.
And I got Quinn on 2-game suspension. Yeah. And then I got to decide if Daniel Ross makes this team or not.
No.
But I think Covington covers you there, right?
No, I think your list is really good, and I think that it's either. This is going to sound crazy again because we just talked 7 minutes about this man, but I think it's going to. If you're talking about the final 2 guys, it's Taco and it's also Joe Jackson. Those are the 2 guys. I think Joe Jackson is either 9 or 10 on their list.
5th round draft pick who showed.
Well, I can have them both right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Every time Jerry is asked about a young player, he mentions Joe Jackson. Yeah. Now, ultimately, does he make the team? Doesn't mean he will. But
I think Joe Jackson's on this team.
I do too.
Yeah. I mean,
well, then there's my 10.
Based on what the Cowboys owner / GM says, they love his motor. his power, rushing, maybe some position flex.
And so with those 10, that included 4 D tackles, meaning Woods, Collins, Covington, and Hill, and then you've got 2 D ends in Hyder and Crawford
that
who
can
can
rush
inside.
Right.
It's a good balance there.
Yes.
Where you basically got four defensive tackles and 4 defensive ends and 2 guys that can go either way.
Yeah.
So
I
we'll figure that out.
All right, let's go.
No, it's always about the flexibility with Marinelli and those guys. It just, hey, what do I? That's why I was kind of not arguing. I was saying the thing about Crawford. Crawford is going to play a lot of snaps for you. He's going to help you at that right end. Be solid over there playing the run. He's going to help you if you have to play the nickel because you can put him inside and run games with him where he's a penetrator and it allows these ends. He takes up blocks because he's got power. He's going to penetrate, take somebody with him, and he's going to get Jalen Smith home on a rush. He's going to get Leighton Vander Esch home on a rush. He's going to get one of those ends home on a rush.
And that's why I mentioned Tyrone Crawford and his salary, because if Tyrone Crawford wasn't a player that they really liked and brought that kind of value, that would be a salary that you could move, and it would benefit the salary as far as your cap goes and so forth. But he's too valuable.
I think he's too valuable. Right. I think people, and again, I didn't think you were going down the line of cutting the guy. Right. I think it was okay if you have to save. But I've got this defensive line like I want it. I do.
And my point on it is be careful the moves that you're making. You've got a position of strength right there.
Absolutely.
And trading away a player or cutting a guy because, we got so many guys that we can make room someplace else. All of a sudden, that position of strength and numbers, and it can be the opposite very quick in this league. What year was it? It was maybe in 2015 where they went through like 20 defensive linemen because of injuries. And stuff,
Right.
No, I absolutely agree with you. So, and who knows? Maybe they keep 11 when Quinn comes back. You never know how it works out.
Yeah, and a lot of times those decisions take care of themselves because injuries do happen.
And when I said last week on the show, if Noah Brown winds up starting the season on PUP at receiver,
Mickey had that from the word go. That was a good get, Mickey.
I don't feel like it has to be 6 wide receivers, and the first thing I'm thinking about is all these defensive linemen that are worthy of making an NFL team, and so it's not necessarily Cedric Wilson and Devin Smith making this team, and they were just, it was like they were competing against each other within that game, just back and forth. And I don't know. It may come down to one or the other because they want to keep an extra guy somewhere else, maybe D-line.
Yep. There's a reception by Devin Smith. That's a point for him. And now here's Cedric Wilson on a punt return. That's a point for him.
I'm serious. Yeah. It's like a heavyweight
fight. Back and forth we go.
Pretty good stuff.
And back and forth we go on Talking Cowboys in just a moment.
It can be hard to find the right resource for learning about important financial matters. You search how to build savings, you end up reading about the one weird ingredient from supermarkets that can make you taller. That's why Bank of America built BetterMoneyHabits.com, a safe little corner of the internet for answering your financial questions. Full of simple videos and tips, Better Money Habits can show you how to make the most of your money without resorting to random searches that always seem to lead to unbelievable photos of childhood stars grown up. To learn more, visit BetterMoneyHabits.com.
It's time for Tailgating with the OtterBox boys.
The OtterBox that builds those crazy protective phone cases?
Yup, and now they're changing the side dish game with the OtterBox Trooper Soft Cooler. Lightweight, mobile, and leak-proof, Trooper is perfect for blitzing a crowded parking lot with a Frito pie.
Amazing. Hey, you think I could fit my 7-layer salmon salad into the Trooper cooler?
Yup, but please don't.
And that's been Tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Learn more about the Trooper Soft Coolers at OtterBox.com.
While a player can look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
College football is back at AT&T Stadium. Don't miss this marquee matchup between the Oregon Ducks and the Auburn Tigers on Saturday. Get your tickets now at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium. There's a quarterback you might be interested in watching in that game at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah. They got a lot of quarterbacks. You know, we kind of in the pre-show we were talking about the Colts, and they're in a situation where they might have to get an opportunity to draft. Colts have been pretty fortunate in their lives. They've drafted Elway, they've drafted Manning, they've drafted Luck. Yeah, pretty good run of quarterbacks.
So the quarterback, he stayed because his brother was going to be a freshman this year,
tight end
at Oregon.
Right.
I forgot his name.
Well, Herbert's the quarterback.
Herbert. Yes. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah,
he would have been a first-round pick. He might have been higher than some of these other guys.
Yeah, and we'll get all that when we get the draft show this spring. But yeah, it's a really good class of quarterbacks overall around the country. So yeah, if you're a team that maybe needs one of those quarterbacks, and we'll get into that in the springtime.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Cooper Rush was pretty darn good.
He was good.
Yes.
He was good. He continues to do things to give you hope that if he had to play a little bit, that he could move
Things
the team.
could function.
I was glad to give him a chance behind the first line and not have to get in there with all the other guys and kind of running for his life. And and if you just he did it again. If you just watched the way he dropped back to pass, he looked like he was in command of himself. Like, I got this.
You can see the field pretty well. He did a nice
and he
job
was
there.
seeing, and he wasn't rushing himself. It was almost like the game slowed down for him.
He's not afraid to go down the field, and that's been the biggest difference between him and Mike White. Now, Mike White had a nice drive there in the second half. That was the best drive he's had by far. But yeah, I think Jerry said that's the best he's seen Cooper Rush play. And so he's put this backup competition to rest pretty much.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've been talking about it all
They're
offseason.
carrying 2 quarterbacks. We've talked about that. You know, it was going to be when we started off in this journey in training camp, we talked about, is it 2 or 3 quarterbacks? Cooper Rush will be the second quarterback. And
then White to the practice
squad. We'll see. We'll see.
Because they may keep that Taron Christian.
But he can do versatile things.
Because he can do so many different things.
I think he's more of a practice squad. I think he's
No, I meant a practice squad.
Okay.
No.
But not necessarily as a quarterback.
Really started swimming.
I was like, okay, Mickey, thanks for playing today.
Keep him.
He's gonna be Jamil Showers. That role that Jamil has had for years.
He's going to play safety. He's going to play. He's going to wide receiver.
And it was kind of nice of him to let him at least go out there and give him a shot.
I didn't think they were going to let him do that, to be honest with you, but they did. Mike White needs to play this whole game next time. You know, if you lose him, you lose him. That's part. You go out and find another one.
You know, isn't it interesting though when you look at what Cooper Rush did his rookie year in the preseason, and I think most everyone felt like, he's showing a little something, and then it seemed like maybe it just wasn't the opportunities last year. My memory is he took a step back last year. Okay. And you had Mike White there, and now he's come on again this year. So maybe with a Mike White, all right, he showed a little something his rookie year, stepped back this time, and maybe,
I think he got spooked by Mike White getting drafted.
Yeah.
I think that affected it's like, wait a minute, I basically made Kellen Moore a coach. You know, I may have played well enough my rookie year that they made Kellen Moore that guy. And then also, they just drafted a guy, and everybody's talking about Mike White and this and that, guys like myself. And I think it affected him last year. I really do. And then he came out and he said, listen, I've seen Mike White play. I'm not going to worry about Mike White anymore. And he went out and started playing better.
Yeah, and I think he made a good comment, too, afterwards about not worrying about the whole, just worrying about this play and this play and this play. And that's the way he played. And you know what? He should have had another touchdown in that drive. Look, The umpire, I think he thought he was getting paid for how many times he threw his flag.
Jeff Rice throws a lot of flags during the game.
I've never seen so many holding calls that you kind of looked at and you go, huh?
Yeah.
And the one on Witten, seriously?
I don't know. It was a block in the back.
No, it wasn't. He pushed the guy.
Well, you can't do that.
But he had already.
That's a penalty.
He blocked the guy for 5 seconds, and then he finally said, "Get out of here."
The problem is he pushed him towards the direction of the ball. That's the problem.
No, he pushed him away from the ball.
It's too early.
The ball was
complain
to
about
his
this.
right, and he pushed him to the
I
left.
can't get into this.
What was the call?
Blocking the
Blocking the back.
It was blocking the back. I couldn't remember if it was a hold or
thank you.
blocking
From the
the back.
radio booth, it looked like blocking the back to me.
Yeah, right.
Well, when I went back and looked at it on TV, it didn't look like a block in the back to me. And Witten didn't think so either.
What did Witten say about it?
Oh, he went running after the.
No, I thought
after
you
they
maybe you talked to him after
No,
the game
after
about
they
it.
scored,
Okay.
he went straight to the guy and talked to him.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you could talk to Mickey.
Or they could have.
It's preseason. There's always a lot of flags. Move on. If it costs him a game in September, then okay.
It's
Let's
okay.
give you latitude.
I can wear my white hat.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, all right, more takeaways from Saturday.
Other than the umpire.
Jeff Rice had a rough day. I think that when before you got here, we were talking about the 2s and 3s. Did a nice job against their second week in a row. We did 2s and 3s play well. I liked some of the stuff where I always loved the plays to Tavon Austin down the field like that. I love it when we've seen that before. That's one of those plays where they move the pocket, but Cooper Rush didn't really move very much. Throws the ball down the field. Rob said it, the back and forth between. I went back and charted those two receivers and how much special teams they played. Mm-hmm. Both of them were flyers. Both of them were on the kickoff team. One was returning punts. So they were trying to find opportunities for those guys. I felt if you said, okay, who was the better, more aggressive player on special teams when it came to the flyer, it's Devin Smith. Devin Smith has a little bit better feel, but then all of a sudden you punt the ball to Cedric Wilson, and now that ball is coming around the corner, up the field, and all. The second one he could have busted too. So yeah, I think you have to look at Joe Thomas. I'm going a lot of different places
But
here.
yeah, one more thing on Cedric Wilson. Not only did he return one well, when he was catching the punt, you weren't sitting there going, "Is he going to catch it?"
Yeah.
He looked like he had confidence in himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like the north-south.
Yeah,
Joe Thomas is another good one. I mean,
Thomas.
We talk about how loaded this linebacker core is, and I don't think. We always talk about the top three, and we don't really get past that. I mean, this is a guy that started games in the NFL.
If I was on another team, if I was on another NFL, if I was in personnel with another, I would try and trade for Joe Thomas.
How much would you give up for him?
I would consider giving up a 5th-round pick for Joe Thomas.
Then I would not give up Joe Thomas.
And I would not, because he can back up all 3 spots.
There you go. See,
and
now
plus, he's a core special teams guy.
There's no question. He should also had a pick 6 in this game too. If you remember, he undercut a route and had both hands on the ball and could have got there with it. But seriously, if you want to watch guys play on defense and you're thinking, okay, how can we offer something to get a starter from you? You're always looking to try and get a starter. Joe Thomas starts in almost every scheme. Every scheme he could play in. And then you put in the special team stuff. Your guys are right. They're not going to give Joe Thomas up after with Sean Lee being banged up all the time.
And he doesn't cost you much.
No, that's what I'm saying. I would trade. Yep. Maybe I have to offer a 3rd-round pick to Joe Thomas.
See, Joe
or
Thomas,
at least me to get my attention. But
I'll get your attention.
With a 3rd, maybe.
Where do you get C.J. Goodwin on this team?
See, this is where I thought that C.J. Goodwin helped himself because I had doubts that C.J. Goodwin could make plays as a corner. The play he made on the first punt, the first punt coverage to tackle the returner there was a great play on his part. But I'm thinking, can this guy cover? Am I keeping a guy just because he can play special teams? Well, he went out and he gets the interception. He looked better in coverage. He looked more comfortable. He got to some balls. I felt better about him as a complete player instead of just being a special teams player. Because I was trying to figure out, okay, Donovan Alumba, how do I with Mike Jackson? Mike Jackson is going to be a big question mark for them
because you haven't really seen him.
You haven't seen him play, and it's the same. He does not have the same latitude as Connor McGovern has.
Right.
Connor McGovern's going to practice today and tomorrow, and that's going to be determined if they're going to carry him or not. That's the understanding I have.
So Mike Jackson,
I think he's on the street.
There's basically 6, I think, guys that are for sure. in the secondary.
Yeah.
And then I got question mark on Darian Thompson, C.J. Goodwin.
Yeah, they'll tell you he's on the team, Mickey, that Thompson.
Frazier and Jackson.
If we're talking about special teams, we just talked about what the young wide receivers did. Goodwin gives you a lot in that area. I'm sure Keith O'Quinn would like to have him. Now, the question is, how do you make it work in the backup numbers? For, in
that
secondary?
whole thing about special teamer guys, I get it because we kick the ball out of the end zone and we can directional punt. And how do you have to have these guys? Do you have to?
Well, the question is,
do you
how
have
many?
to have 5 guys on your roster just so that because they play special? And I'm not busting on you, Rob. I'm just saying that's the problem I had. It used to be special teams coach would come up to me and go, I've got to have this guy. I've got to have this guy. Okay, and then I watch him punt the ball out of bounds, and then I watch him put it through the end zone, and I'm going, okay, you got 5 guys running down the field that don't help me on.
Here's what I love about this conversation right here, is we've got a special teams coach right here who wants that guy out of special teams, and we've got a position coach who wants to keep a guy, say an offensive lineman. Okay, we got Mark Colombo here,
right.
And Mark Colombo's saying, how important are special teams now? Really?
Do I have? I don't get to keep an extra offensive tackle because you got to have C.J. Goodwin.
We got to put McGovern on IR for the season because you got to keep a guy who might.
And McGovern might not help you, but I think that to me,
can McGovern play tackle?
I don't think so, Mickey. I've seen him play center and guard at Penn State. The feet.
I'll keep saying it. They need a backup tackle.
Well, okay, here we go. Now, here we go.
It's on Mickey's list.
52 guys, and let's try and claim somebody. Or let's, if you're telling me Jake Campos or somebody at the Buccaneers or Saints or Minnesota Vikings, I think I'm going that route.
Didn't they sign Cam Fleming to a 2-year deal?
They did.
With some decent money?
They did.
You give up one of those defensive linemen for a swing tackle?
Yes.
I don't disagree with him.
Especially with the situation Tyron Smith is in.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. No, he's not wrong.
Yeah. We continue with more Talking Cowboys in a moment.
Your new apartment's big. Such a great deal.
It's okay.
Just okay? What's not too...
Right above the subway!
Well, I bet you don't even notice it after the...
That's my neighbor, Angus.
A deal that's just okay is not okay. Get a great deal with America's Best Network. Come into an AT&T store and learn how to buy one smartphone and get a second one on us. Based on GWS 1 score, September 2018.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with sideline access and photo ops with current players, alumni, and cheerleaders. That's not all, though. You'll get to talk X's and O's with Senior Director of Player Personnel Will McClay and, of course, with yours truly, me, Brian Broaddus. You can trust the official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and with us, you'll travel like a pro. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Work the Cowboys way and channel the winning business tradition of the Dallas Cowboys and the Jones family at Formation. This dynamic workspace provides an elevated work experience on the Star's aspirational campus with exclusive membership options available to meet varying needs. Choose from open workspaces, dedicated desks, and private offices to leverage our home field advantage for your individual business success. Limited memberships are available now, so apply today at formationatthestar.com.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
It's all you, Mickey.
I had one that Bill didn't know, a high school guy. How about that?
Yeah.
Hey, Jack Black, they got a bunch of specials going on, and you need to go to getjackblack.com and do like we do, not just the pros do, what we do, and get you some of their product. Go to getjackblack.com.
Let's give a shout out to Will McClay. The way the Cowboys have options here as we approach cutdown day on Saturday. Daryl Johnston was talking about it during the game, how impressed he is with the guys like the Joe Thomases, like the Kerry Hyders, like the Christian Covingtons.
Pro and college guys doing a good job.
That the makeup of this team with those veteran type players and Alfred Morris even, where these are guys are right kind of guys who are great examples for the young guys coming in on how to be a professional in this league too.
Yeah, no, I think that you have to have an understanding of what your roster needs. And I think the Cowboys do a nice job with going out, and especially we've talked about this a bunch. The offensive line, the way it is, the backups with veteran guys. Now you evaluate your quarterback. Now you see guys like Jordan Chun. Now you get to see both receivers go tit for tat on each other making plays. So, I mean, if you don't have the type of roster where with the mix of the young and veteran guys, you can't really evaluate your team. And I applaud them for that. I get more excited about watching the second halves of some of these games, these preseason games. And I know it looks crazy out there and it's a lot of holding and whatever penalties going on, but at least you're getting to evaluate guys. This next game is going to some jobs are clearly, and I'm not just hyping it. There's clearly some jobs on the line here and some spots on the line as well.
I wish someone would do some research on the number of players who get cut, on Saturday, who eventually during this season, what the percentage is of those players who actually will be on a game day roster during the season, because I bet you that percentage is way up there. Well, so there are guys that are playing on Thursday, and people who don't follow it that closely say, these guys are going to be working at Home Depot
right. No, it's
a
not
week
true.
from now. No, it's not
true
true
on
at all.
practice squads
That's
and stuff like that, yeah.
And the other thing about these preseason games, not to tout it too much, but the NFL does not have a minor league. And basically what these preseason games, the second half of the games we've seen the last couple of weeks, and then the whole game on Thursday, this, in essence, is the NFL's minor league right here.
RX is the XFL.
I think the NFL has done a great thing by keeping the final cut being a final cut. The going down to 75 and then going
90.
down from there. No, I mean, I wish I was involved where it was keep all 90 guys the whole time.
If you're a head
makes it more exciting to try and guys still have an opportunity.
It does, and that 75 cut was so hard for head coaches because if you're not playing your starters in this last game, then you got to figure out how to get enough guys in the game to get through it.
Well, that's how you decided who you cut, because you had to keep enough guys to be able to get through the game. It's
sometimes
this guy's not going to make the team, but I need an offensive guard to get through this game. Yeah. Do you not think these agents today are telling these young guys that are probably not going to get cut, hey, you better put some good tape out there because you get a job in the XFL.
Yeah,
I mean, Daryl Johnson's sitting there watching these games.
No question.
Right?
No question.
A bunch of these guys could get
he
signed
was up
by
there
him.
taking notes on all these
sure
players.
He was.
Marking up his flip card.
Did he grab your little board there?
Yeah.
I see you didn't go to the game without it.
You know what happened last week in Hawaii?
Oh.
You know how bad the traffic was and everything, whatever. And so I get on the team bus. I look in my briefcase. And, all right, here is all my notes.
Yeah, you're blocking your mic.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, they can see
that's
it.
not filled out yet for. Okay.
Yeah.
I left it in the hotel room.
Huh?
I did not have it for the game.
That?
Yeah.
All his notes that he wrote on each player.
OCD thing you got over there?
But I've always said the way I study for games and the way I used to study for tests way back when in college, if I wrote it down, I remember it. And so I put it to the ultimate test in Hawaii last week and I was pulling out things. I was like, wow, I can't believe I remembered that about that player.
And the game was also over like at 1 a.m, right? So we probably didn't have the
That's because I was elbowing him saying, hey, Bill, don't forget this. Okay?
Mickey was your spotter?
Yeah. He was.
In Hawaii.
He got some camera time for it.
Hawaii. So what did you do it this week?
Yeah.
You made the board?
Oh, sure. I make the board every time.
And you brought it with?
The key is I remembered to bring it.
You got to bring it with you.
I left it on my hotel room desk last week. So, all right. Final minutes here of Talking Cowboys.
Hey, Bill.
Yes, sir.
They're working out a couple of tight ends today. Tyrone Swoops, former University of Texas quarterback, and then a guy named Zach Conke. Conque. Is that Conque? Is that how would you say that?
Who are you?
That must mean that Cody McElroy's stinger came back.
Yes. So, yes.
And they don't want to play Witten in the game.
Right.
And if they're not going to play the other two.
How about our Missouri
They can't
Missouri
ask
man.
poor Lucas to play 65 snaps.
No practice squad eligibility for Lucas, by the way.
I
so
can't imagine.
He'll move on.
He's only been in the league 5 years.
I think he's been on 10 teams, so yeah, that would make sense.
No, 11 and 2 of them twice.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, it sounds like Byron Jones is on his way back to practice here.
Yeah.
They've got to officially move him off of PUP, but he still counts towards 90. If he is back, and it sounds like he would be.
Well, this guy's timed this thing out right,
They'll
didn't they?
probably work him back in limited like they did Tank and
So then they have to cut somebody?
Okay.
No, he was on the whatever PUP.
And by the way, Tyrone Swoops was with the Seahawks.
Yes.
And he was waived injured and was on August 3rd, released on August 14th. So I'm not sure what he had, but
does that mean the backup deep snapper's out of here? Although then LP has to play the whole game.
No, they'll figure out something. There's got to be
the other kicker.
Oh, yeah, the other kicker. There you go.
You still want LP snapping? Have you made up your mind on your kicker?
Oh yeah. You mean Redfern?
No. You made up your mind on Maher.
Oh yeah, he's here.
Yeah.
Okay, you've made up your mind.
Yeah.
See
okay.
that?
What do you want me to change
there was
my
a lot
mind?
of talk about that.
A year ago at this time, had you made up your mind on Bailey?
I think we all had.
I was worried.
Are you?
I was worried.
Yeah, well,
No, I'll tell you what.
I didn't think they'd have the nerve to pull the trigger, but I was worried.
There was a competition going on that none of us really knew about.
I did not know about the competition at all, and I sat there and watched every single
just
practice.
thought they were going to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't good in training camp.
Yeah.
And there were other things going on that he wasn't good with either. And so what did Minnesota did? They traded for that dude, and he promptly went into the game and missed. I think he missed the first kick. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Vidic, how do you say it?
You're asking me for
I
pronunciation?
was, yes. I was looking for help.
It's funny. Bill, did you pronounce the Houston quarterback's last name correct? The kid
I don't
from
know
Ole
if
Miss?
it's correct, but I went with it.
What were you going with?
Ta'amu.
I can't say it. I can't say it. So every time something happened in the game with him throwing, I was
Mr. T.
I was doing radio like the worst radio in
Did you call him George or something?
I don't know. Ole Miss quarterback is what I was basically
That's
calling
right.
him. Yeah, exactly. So
Yep.
Can I just give a quick shout out to Troy Aikman?
There you go.
His tweet, I believe, was it last night?
To Doug Gottlieb.
In defense of Andrew Luck's decision to retire. I believe it's at like almost 400,000 likes right now on Twitter. Just, well said.
Do you have it?
No.
Yeah,
I could find it real quick for you.
just leave out the first word.
It's got a four-letter word.
If that
in
many
there.
people liked it, then I think we probably would like it.
Yeah. It was actually an 8-letter word.
Yes.
But
right here.
I got it.
Go ahead, Kate.
It's family
You
show.
want to read it?
That's total BS, Doug. What qualifies you to decide how someone should live their life? So you're now the authority on what motivates Andrew Luck, and if his decisions don't fit into what you think is best for him, then you rip him. Guess that's what keeps you employed at FS1.
FS1.
And
That's Fox on Fox Crime right there.
And here's the tweet that he was responding to from Doug Gottlieb from Saturday night. Retiring cause rehabbing is too hard is the most millennial thing ever.
Oh,
Hashtag
my.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
But what's beautiful, the most beautiful thing about the Aikman tweet is the comment about FS1.
Yeah.
He just took a shot.
Well, because
you know
Fox
why.
on Fox Crime.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
Yes.
yeah.
It's not so much that for me. It's just coming to the defense of a quarterback, and Aikman went through plenty of injuries in his career, and it's a difficult decision that Luck had to make.
Did you see Steve Berline? What he?
Yes,
No,
I
but-
did. Berline ripped him for leaving his team.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read some of it?
You
Nah,
can.
We're
okay.
almost out of time, sir.
I know we are, but he did say he's a huge Andrew Luck fan.
Yeah, he
always
did.
has been.
But he put him in a bad situation, is what he said.
He was talking more about the team.
Yeah.
Like, now what do you do now?
Well,
Can
he
you
was
have done
hurt
this-
anyway, right?
Can you have done this 2 months
His
ago?
team
is
needs him to
basically
make
his
this
point.
run. I know rehab is tough. I had 19 surgeries as a player, 8 over 2 years, but he owes it to his team. It's just a lower leg injury, and it will heal. Just give it a chance. If it doesn't, walk away after this year. I think none of us know exactly what's going on with Andrew Luck.
Right.
Can't,
You know.
yeah.
And we never have with the injuries. They've kept him so shrouded.
Sean Lee has a something to say about this too. You know, I mean, he's the same thing has happened to Sean Lee. How many times is Sean Lee? We talked about him as being one of the great players in this franchise, and his career has been marred with injury and robbed. And you know, he probably feels like, wow. I mean, I played 10 years, and I only played 5. You know, I really didn't play 10 years here. I've only played 5, you know?
Maybe that's why he keeps going, because he figures he's fresh.
That he's as tough a player as you'll find, and Andrew Luck is as tough as quarterback as you'll find, and yet people will say whatever they say.
He deserves to be on the sidelines.
Well,
fired.
those are the people in Indianapolis that booed, right?
All right.
They walk our streets.
We got Talking Cowboys again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?